can't believe I'm here. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, here's the 8-hour conversation I want to have in just 2 minutes. Okay. God, and my Christian background, biblical viewpoint, my new marriage, and he lives with chronic pain. I want him healed. He wants to be healed. And cleaning up negative vibration quickly when I am experiencing it. Cleaning up my vibration and no longer poking around in the dark with, do I do a focus wheel? Do I do this? What do I do? Raising my 2 kids and not being scared, like earlier you're talking about the dog who bites, the one who's in fear, and I have a 7-year-old who can be a pit bull at times. And I want to tell you something really exciting.
All right, so let's start at the beginning of this. The thing that most often separates you as you stand in your physical body, any of you, in your physical body with your physical mind and your physical personality, the thing that separates you or hinders you, the thing that keeps you from being really in sync with who you are, is the notion, it's a belief that many practice, that we call shortage consciousness. So it's conversation about not enough money or conversation about not enough time. It's this feeling that I have so much that I want to know and not enough time in which to know it, or so much that I have to do and not enough time in which to do it. And you're really rippling with all of that. So it's just a logical thing that you can't ask 10 questions all at once. And it's also a logical thing that you can't take the time for the whole seminar by asking all the things that you want to ask. And so whenever we invite someone forward, we always know these things. We can always feel the power of their desire, and we can always feel their readiness to hear the answer to the question that they are asking. Otherwise, we don't call you forward. We also are understanding where what you want to know fits in with what others are wanting to know. And so we are choosing those conversations that will have the most meaning, the most meaningful impact on the most who will be listening to it in this room. So what we really want you to hear from us is that through your life experience, because of the intensity of focus, you are good at focusing. You're not demonstrating it right now because you're sort of scattered, but you are good at focusing. Life causes you to focus desires into place. And you have a vortex that is ripe with so many things that you care about, like your children growing up and living happily ever after, and like relationships, and like understanding how all of this fits together. In other words, those questions are very strong, very vivid in your vortex. So since they are, the thing that we want you to hear from us is that if you can relax a little bit, if you can trust just a little more, that the answers to those questions will come not in a 2-minute rampage that you couldn't possibly hear, no matter how perfect the words are that we join together. Esther had more meaningful understanding coming to her this week because of things that seemed to be going wrong on her job site. Very meaningful understanding of how the universe works and how law of attraction works, just by noticing how she felt under these conditions and then how she felt by just focusing a little differently. If we can convince you that it's all in your ability, everything that you seek lies in your ability to slow it down enough, to pick something that is specific enough, and to bring yourself to deliberately soothe yourself. Soothe yourself into alignment. That really is what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. And if you will do that, then each time you soothe, then what the universe yields to you next is the next step along the way, and the next, and the next, and the next, until you are just continually fine-tuning your vibrational frequency, your vibrational output. What comes back to you is always an absolute match to what you're broadcasting. And so when you're broadcasting in a sort of scattered way, what's coming back to you is coming back in a sort of scattered way. Mm-hmm. So just slow it down, pick one thing at a time, make lists of positive aspects. We delivered through Esther 22 processes that are in the Ask and It Is Given book, with some specific instructions to let you know that depending upon what emotion you are predominantly feeling, this process may be better for you than this one, and this one for this one, or this one for this one. In other words, each process will help you along the way depending upon what the usual emotion is that you're having. So from your point of view, what do you think is your most common? Don't tell us the one you think we want to hear. Don't tell us the one that you want to achieve. What is your most common emotion? What do you find yourself saying to yourself most often? I feel
Good. Happy.
all right. So from what you witnessed, we're asking you how many chairs you see in this room. From what you witnessed, what is the emotion that you perceive happening here?
Yeah, all that too.
Well, so what we're getting at is that you told us what you thought we wanted to hear, and you told us what you really want to feel, and that's really an important thing. But you've got to figure out some way in a moment that you feel worry, not in a moment where you're trying to bring it all together all at once. That makes you crazy. What you demonstrated just now, I've got all these things I want to talk about, and I want to take 8 hours of conversation, and I want to whittle them all down into 2 minutes. That's not ever going to happen. Life's coming to you one emotional experience at a time. And when you're having an emotional moment, what you want to do is find some way to turn the condition into an uncondition, which means feel it as an emotion, and find some way of shifting the emotion from something that doesn't feel so good into something that feels better. So pick one subject from all of those that you sort of scattered at us a little bit ago. Pick one subject and let's do exactly that right now. Want to talk about the pit bull? Want to talk about religion? Pick one. The one that comes up the most often for you.
My son.
All right. So give us an example of why you want to talk about that.
I want to be able to respond to him.
All right. So what is it? What is he presenting? What is the condition that you are wanting to respond to, or that you are responding to?
His aggression, his physical aggression, his verbal aggression.
All right, so focus on that aggression for just a moment. Aggression's a very pointed, very powerful, and very accurate word. So focus on it, and now tell us, what is the emotion that you feel? What does his aggression evoke in you? Does it make you feel aggressive? Does it make you feel like you want to control him? What emotion happens when you respond to the condition where his aggression is happening?
Yeah, I want to control him.
All right, so his aggression is summoning some aggression from you. So he's set the tone, and it doesn't matter how he got there. It doesn't matter what happened that's making him feel that way. There he is. And now you're responding in kind. Law of attraction sort of having its way with you. So he's there, doesn't matter how he got there, but now you're there. And so you're having a conditional response. And in doing so, in that negative emotion that you feel, this is the part we really want you to hear. You are not feeling the same way that your inner being is feeling about exactly the same moment. Because your inner being sees his behavior and doesn't feel aggressive back, doesn't want to control him back. You know what your inner being wants to do?
Love him?
Yeah. And your inner being has practiced that so extensively that it's really easy to do. And that's what you're going to start doing too. You see, you couldn't feel bad about his behavior if your inner being were not feeling so good. If your inner being agreed with you, then you'd be in sync with your inner being and you'd feel wonderful. But the fact that you don't feel wonderful means there's a tug of war going on between you and your inner being and your source. So you want to talk to yourself in a way, because what he's doing is really irrelevant. What is relevant is you've got an aggressive vibration that's not matching the love that is within you. You're blaming it on him, but the fact is the only thing that you can control is the vibration between you and you. So you're wanting to talk to yourself in a way that brings you back into alignment. So what might you say to yourself that would soothe that negative emotion within you?
It is what it is.
That might help. What else?
Everything will be fine.
That might help. What else?
This is a contrasting experience for everyone.
That might help. What else?
All is well.
That might help. What else?
Love is here.
Now, a lot of this is sort of like blah, 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 blah. And we're not criticizing you. We're just saying that under those conditions, words don't go very far, do they? Not at first. In other words, the little bugger, he needs to shape up and be different. So those words are not going very far. But you want to stay with it. So let's say that you say that in the moment and it doesn't shift much in you. But now later, you're thinking about it when he's asleep. Mm-hmm. Now he's asleep. And you're off on your own. Maybe you're in bed, maybe you're sitting somewhere where you're comfortable, and you've decided that you're going to self-soothe about him right now. So he's sleeping right now, and it's easy to remember who he really is when he's sleeping. It's so easy to love that kid as you're looking at him while he's sleeping. It's easy to remember how you felt when he was born. And as you do that and you stay there for just a little bit, now you'll come into the realization that Source has about him too. And so now you're in that vibrational pattern of alignment and you're focused upon this subject of this child. And now all kinds of things are going to start coming into your mind about how wonderful he is. I adore how eager about life he is. I like how clear he is about what he wants. I like how willing he is to get into contrast, and I like thinking about what he's put into his vortex. I like realizing that we had a contract even before any of us were born to have this experience together. I like feeling the power of who he is, and I like thinking about who he will be when he grows up. So now you've not only soothed yourself, now you've got some true momentum going. Now you're remembering in fullness who he is. And as you're remembering in fullness who he is, you won't forget the events of this day, but you'll be looking at them differently through the eyes of Source now, through the eyes of your alignment with Source, you see. And tomorrow, the first moment in which you engage with him, you will, and he will too, recognize the shift in you. Because what he's been responding to is your belief that he needs to be different in order for you to feel better, and he is not going to let you have that. He is not going to be the condition that stands on his head in order for you to misunderstand what your work is, what your purpose in life is. Those people who are so cooperative that you all think everybody should be just like them, they're not helping. They're helping you be lazy in your alignment. They're helping you be lazy in your focus. They're not causing you to align with your true guidance, you see. But when someone like that, who you love so much, who means so much to you, can cause so much frequent negative emotion within you, this is a powerful gift that he is giving you, to give you the opportunity of discovering your true power of alignment, you see. So, path of least resistance, not controlling him. He's proving that to you. The more you try to control him, the more he shows you that you will not. You absolutely will not. And then it extends out into other experiences as well. But when you understand that your path of least resistance, not his, your path of least resistance is to self-talk yourself into alignment, and you succeed tonight and tomorrow night and the next night and the next night. And then you start seeing these very strong evidences of the difference in the way he's responding to you. And now you're standing and looking at him as a mother, not liking what he's doing, but loving him so intensely, even though you're disagreeing with what he's doing, that you're living step 5. You're showering love all over him while you say, hey, clean it up. You see what we're getting at?
So I can still...
What happens to so many of you, we'll hear you, but what happens to so many of you is you leave your connection with love and then you talk. That's what Esther did with the technical person. She left her alignment and said, you need to shape up. You need to make this house a higher priority. Stop putting me off while you're doing other work. Get in here and get this done, is what she was saying. That gets her nowhere. Esther could feel she'd completely left the rails. She'd completely left everything that matters to her. She'd lost the plot. She'd forgotten who she is for just a moment, and she felt the awfulness of it. And then when she remembered, oh, it felt so good to come back into alignment.